Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another day of Indie Mist. Today we're going to be doing the new makeup releases tag. This was a video started by Angelica Nyqvist and Samantha March. I believe the first year they did it was last year, and I did do this video last year in collaboration with my friend Karen Harris, so we decided to also go ahead and do it in collaboration again this year. So we're just going to be talking about a bunch of new releases over the past year, the things that lived up to the hype, the things that didn't, things that were letdowns, some predictions for next year. So I will have Angelica and Samantha's videos linked down below, as well as Karen's. If you are not familiar with Karen, you are missing out. She is just the absolute best. I love who she is as a person, but as far as her YouTube channel goes, she is such a makeup lover. She buys all the eyeshadow palettes, and I just enjoy her videos so much. So make sure you check her out. I can't wait to see her answers because I feel like she tried so many things this year. I want to see what came out on top, but let's go ahead and jump on in. So the very first question is, which mainstream release lived up to the hype most this year? And I have two things to mention, but the one that felt the most right to me would definitely be the Beauty Bay Wilderness palette. I feel like this is one of the eyeshadow palettes I tried this year that got so much hype. I mean, I even purchased it because of the hype. I did not purchase it right when it first launched. I kind of saw other people just saying such amazing things about it, and then I went ahead and jumped on the bandwagon as well. I feel like this is such a stunning color story. It's so affordable. The quality is great. The shimmers in here are just so creamy and sparkly and just everything you could want. So I feel like this is one that was super hyped and definitely worth it in every aspect. And one of the cool things about Beauty Bay is, I'm counting this as more of mainstream, but Beauty Bay is actually, I believe, the largest independently owned beauty retailer. I feel like I read that before and I thought that was really cool, but definitely the Wilderness palette. I'm not sure if it's still in stock, but I will try to link everything down below for you. And then second, this, I don't know that it got as much hype, at least not in like my makeup circle and the people that I watch, but I feel like it did get a decent amount, and I feel like it was worth every bit of it and more, and that is going to be the ColourPop or Kid You Not palette. I think that this is one of the best ColourPop palettes they've ever done. The quality is just so good on the mattes. Like, they are just rich, pigmented, blendable, like amazing purples, killer purples. I can't believe how good this palette is. Again, it's pretty affordable, so I just love this one. Just to throw in really quickly, surprise giveaway, I went ahead and picked up a second Or Kid You Not for y'all so that someone could win it and try it because I love it so much. All you have to do is comment down below what your favorite eyeshadow palette was this year and be subscribed to my channel. I'll have like the little giveaway information in the description box, but that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. So the second question is, which indie release lived up to the hype most this year? And it was definitely the Auric Glow Lust for me. I feel like these got so much hype, and again, they were worth it. They are so beautiful. The packaging is just stunning, super luxe, super heavy, and I mean, they are a little bit more of a luxury price point, but I feel like I use these all the time. As you can see, I have 3 shades, and they did release a new version of Morganite, the lightest shade, and I really want to pick it up. I've gone back and forth on it so many times because I'm like, I have these and they work, but the new Morganite just looks like absolute perfection for fair skin. But I just feel like the formula is so beautiful. It looks so pretty and glowy, and I guess one of the reasons I feel so passionately about these is just because I use them pretty much every single day. I love wearing them on their own, mixing them with moisturizer, mixing them in with foundation. I don't really use this as a liquid highlight. I don't feel like it's glowy enough to use as a liquid highlight on its own in the shades that I have, but as mixing products, they're just phenomenal. I also wanted to go ahead and throw in one more answer. So that is going to be the Blend Bunny Cosmetics palettes. These have been so hyped as well. I believe Blend Bunny is a newer brand. I don't know if they released like the first palette within this last year or so. I'm pretty sure that they did, and I just heard so many good things about the mattes that I just decided to go ahead and purchase both of the palettes when their newest one came out. So they have the Surge palette, and I would say that I do like this one. I mean, I think that it's beautiful. It's really nice, but the neon formula to me is just, it's okay. It's not my favorite neon formula ever, and the shimmers are nice, but I really feel like out of everything from Blend Bunny, their mattes are the best. The Blends palette is all mattes, so I'd say this is probably my favorite just because they are so pigmented, they blend super easy, they're just such a nice formula, and I feel like aesthetically they just look so stunning, like just the prettiest matte rainbow palette. So that has been one that I feel has been worth the hype. I bought it because of the hype and I am not disappointed. The third question is which release did not live up to the hype this year, and I have two answers. The first one I feel kind of bad about because it is a collaboration and I know that someone like put their heart and soul into it, but I feel like the disappointment is less about like the color story and the palette and more just about the formula change. So to me, something that wasn't worth the hype was the Glamlite Michaela palette. So let me just explain. I mean, the packaging is super cute. The color story is pretty. I don't love the top two rows as much, but like these three rows here I think are absolutely stunning. The reason why I feel like this one is not worth the hype is because I feel like Glamlite did a formula change and they were really hyping up the mattes in here to be some of their best mattes ever. And I just feel like I don't like the change. I feel like they're a little bit more powdery. They're just like a little bit softer and not in like the best way, like almost as if there's like less holding them together. I just didn't find myself loving this matte formula as much as other Glamlite palettes. It's not that they've ever had like the most amazing blendable perfect matte formula, but I felt like what they had before was better than this. Shimmers are beautiful. I will say that they definitely hold their own in this palette. I feel like I should say too that I didn't have a ton of issues with the mattes, like actually using them on my eyes. I just liked them less. So maybe like calling this like not worth the hype could be a little dramatic, but I just feel like it was a combination of a few different things. So I would love to know if you guys tried this palette, what you thought of it, if you thought it was worth it. I mean, I feel like again, the shimmers are so beautiful that they do make me like the palette more. And then the other product that I was thinking of is the Lunar Beauty Moonspell Volume 2. I just feel like I was really excited for this, and the shimmers are pretty, but again, this is one where the formula change just kind of let me down, and I was so hyped up for this, but I ended up not loving it as much as I wanted to. I think that it is a really cute palette, but when I was using it and playing with it, I felt like some of the mattes just weren't giving me the pigmentation that I wanted. Especially in my first impression, I was playing with this and I found myself wanting to reach for the ColourPop or Kid You Not palette, and I just couldn't help but like evaluate that feeling and think like, I'm playing with a palette that is like, I think this was like $54 maybe, something like that, and it's not giving me everything that I want. Like I feel like I need to reach into something that's so much more affordable to get better quality mattes. So that just kind of had me a little bit perplexed. I think that the packaging is beautiful. I think the color story is beautiful, but I just wish that the formula hadn't been changed. If I remember correctly, Manny, the owner of Lunar Beauty, said that he changed labs. It kind of stinks because I have other palettes from Lunar Beauty that I love and I love the formula of, and I thought the mattes were so good. So now after trying this one, I'm like a little bit more hesitant to buy their eyeshadow palettes in the future, which stinks because the color stories are so cute. So question number 4 is what was the biggest curveball? And I have two answers, but the first one is definitely the Ace Beauté reformulation. I did not see it coming at all. I did not expect them to reformulate all of their original palettes, but I am so glad that they did because the reformulation was just perfection. I have always loved their color stories, but now I love their formula too. The shimmers are nice. I wouldn't say that they're my top favorite, but now I feel like the mattes are not only pigmented, but they're also blendable, and I haven't had any issues at all in my crease, which I used to have a ton of issues with their old formula. So I would say their reformulation was just one of the best releases. I also just wanted to throw in their Tropical Vibes palette that they released in their new reformulated formula. And this has just been an absolute favorite, one of my top palettes of the year, so just wanted to throw that in as well. Like, I probably never would have bought this if they didn't reformulate, but because they did, I did, and I love it. And then the other curveball is the Menagerie Indigo Ink palette. I just feel like this one was completely unexpected. It was an unexpected color story and an unexpected perfected formula for Menagerie. I talked about this recently in my Menagerie ranking video, but I just feel like this palette is so fun, so different, and Menagerie kind of stepped it up and they're killing it with the textures in here. I feel like they've got all these different duochromes. They've got this one, which I would say like borderline kind of multi-chrome vibes, and both of those shades are so sparkly. I just feel like the formula of this palette kind of went above and beyond, and even if it's not your favorite color story, the reason I feel like this is a curveball to me is because it's so good. I kind of went from being a Menagerie shimmer hater to being like thoroughly impressed. Okay, so question number 5 is, what was the biggest letdown or snooze fest this year? And I feel like I struggled so much with this question. Like, there was nothing where I was like looking through and I was like, oh yeah, like I was so bored by that or expecting something else. I was like, maybe the Apple collection from Kaleidos, I was let down that it was just lip products and not an eyeshadow palette. And then like I had to think deeply for this one. So the first thing that I thought of would be the Glamlight Wine palette. I'm not trying to be a Glamlight hater. I know this is the second one making in this video in a negative way, but I just feel like this one was a letdown because even though it looks like it's not one-toned, this palette, I just feel like all the mattes kind of give the same vibes on the eyes, and the shimmers, the mattes, they're all just, I don't know. I feel like looking at it, it's beautiful, but in use, in application, this is probably the most boring one-tone purple palette. I hate the gold shimmer in here. I just feel like it's so lit. I don't know. I just felt very disappointed by this palette when I used it. Kind of like that same thing where it's the mattes that are a little bit more like, not like binded together as much. Not my favorite matte formula, so it felt like all things considered, this palette for me was definitely a regret. I kind of want to go through and do a ranking all the eyeshadow palettes I bought this year video. Let me know if you'd like to see that, but I feel like this one would be very, very low down. If not, like maybe at the very bottom. I don't know. So yeah, that one was a letdown to me. And then the other one that I was thinking of, this is the only release in this video that I didn't personally try myself, but I'll throw a picture on screen. The Lunar Beauty face palette was kind of just like a what the heck is Lunar Beauty doing kind of moment. Like, I understood they made a face palette, they try to make it as inclusive as possible, but I just feel like face palettes being made for every skin tone is kind of just a silly concept unless you're a makeup artist. I feel like it's just so much better to either do individual products or to do multiple face palettes. Like Alamar, I feel like they kill it. They only do three palettes for each launch, but between Fair Light, Medium Tan, and Deep Dark, they cover so many skin tones instead of just like trying to force everything into one palette. So to me, this palette, yeah, it's cute, but it was just a major letdown. So question number 6 was, what was the best holiday release? And this one was hard for me because I feel like I don't even pay attention to that many holiday releases, and I'm kind of making this fit. I don't know that it's necessarily considered a holiday release, but I feel like it's kind of during the holiday times is when it was released. I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say the Alamar Encanto palette, or like the Encanto collection in general. It is a Disney collaboration. It's the cutest Disney collaboration I've ever seen. So I mean, there's what it looks like on the inside. I've done 2 different looks with this on my channel already, but I think it is just so cute. It makes me really happy. And yeah, I guess for this one, I was gonna do this as lived up to the hype, but I decided to go ahead and throw it here and include it as like a best release for holiday because I think this would be such a cute gift. And yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of indie brands don't really do holiday palettes. I'm trying to think. I know that there was the Silent Night palette that Glaminatrix did, but I haven't tried it. I mean, it looked really cute, but that's all I can think of. I know Give Me Glow did a Christmas morning palette. So question number 7 was, what was the best collab of 2021? And this one was pretty hard because there's been so many amazing collaborations this year. Some of the top ones that I was thinking of would be the Lethal Legendary Diversa collection, which was stunning. The Nima Tang and Dose of Colors collaboration I thought was beautiful as well. Lethal Cosmetics and Teresa's Dead. There's a lot of beautiful collaborations, but I decided to go with the one that I've used the most, the one that I've reached for over and over and over again, and that has just been a absolute staple for me. I feel like, yes, it's an amazing collaboration, but it also, like, even if there was no name attached to it or anything, I feel like it's just an amazing palette. So that is going to be the Kaleidos Club Nebula palette, which is unfortunately no longer available. This was Kaleidos' collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist, and it is just an absolute favorite for me. So here's what it looks like. I think that between my channel and Patreon, I've done like 12 looks with this palette or something, which is a lot to do 12 different looks from a palette just over time, not even planning to do that many, but it is just so good. The shimmers in here are stunning. I love the color story. I've got dips going in this green and this one. I've got a little dip going in this one. And I just feel like the mattes, the deepening mattes are just perfection. Like everything about this palette makes me so happy. I love that it's Angie's creation. I think it's an amazing accomplishment. But even, like I said, even if it wasn't, this has just been such a staple for me. It's just one of the best palettes. Again, another video I was thinking of doing was to rank all of the collaborations that I've tried this year, like collab palettes, because there's been so many, and I feel like that could be like in good fun, but at the same time like also kind of made me feel like, like what if someone like sees their palette and it's like towards the bottom because it's not exactly my personal preference, and I was like, maybe that's sad, but also at the same time I feel like it would be a really fun video. I don't know. Lastly, question number 8 is, what are your predictions for next year's releases? And I feel like I'm not very good at predictions, but the one thing that I was thinking of is I feel this like trend of makeup coming that is kind of the combination of that like glowy natural skin look, but also full coverage glam like melded together somewhere in the middle. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of products that are like giving you the full coverage but also be very glowy and like marketed as still like looking like your skin, like kind of that like in between, like you're gonna get everything you want. I mean, I feel like I've already seen it happening a little bit, like more of these like glowy medium coverage foundations coming out and just like those kind of products, like those kind of images. But that's kind of what I was thinking of in terms of releases next year. I feel like I'm sure there'll be lots of sparkly eyeshadows. I'm sure there'll be lots of collaborations. I'm sure there'll be a lot more multi-chromes coming out from a lot more brands. But that's my guesses. Again, like I said, I never feel good about these. So that is everything for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Karen's video, Angelica's video, Samantha's video. Like I said, they'll all be linked down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Bye!